Well, hello, my YouTube friend. Today it is my pleasure to present you this this gem, because that's what it is actually. It's a gem in my collection, and talk to you about his maker, Gerry McGinnis, a little bit. Not that I know him very much and that I would be really knowledgeable on the matter, but you know, it's very difficult to speak about the knife and not its maker. So yeah, a word about Gerry McGinnis, a description of this knife, and some rumblings, as always, probably. We'll see about that. So Gerry McGinnis is a relatively young maker. I mean, you look at him and he almost looks like a child. I mean, this guy, I don't know, must be in his early 30s, I don't know. He started making knives, yeah, about 10 years ago, something like that. So relatively new. He acquired his skills through different makers, but mostly, sorry, with Lee Williams and Matt Kuchara in the grindhouse. He's one of the grindhouse. So yeah, I mean, got his probably his strong detent with Lee Williams and a lot of his craft probably he acquired through that master, and what a master to have. So this guy to me is probably one of the the very few that I would call geniuses, because he's making such great knife. Sometimes they look really simple. This one is quite complicated. I mean, it has a lot of curves. The design is, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a simple knife, but you see, because it's sexy as hell, man. I absolutely adore this knife. But others, they're simple, but with the simplicity, the grind looks simple. Even this one, I mean, if you don't consider the craziness of the recurve and the Persian and the whatever, it's, you know, there's no compound, nothing. It's long grind like that, and most of these knives are like that. But he's absolutely perfect when it comes to the action, to the detent, to the consistency of his grind. Every knife of his is on washers, and yet the action is impeccable every time. So yeah, he managed to be one of the important makers, and now his books are sealed for good when it comes to custom. It's very high, and the secondary market has rised, I mean, to, oh man, through the roof. The prices on the secondary market went crazy nuts lately. And it's deserved. It's deserved because his knives are absolutely insane. And this one is, to me, oh man, I just adore it. Well, what can I say? I mean, you would offer me whatever, I wouldn't part with this knife. And I don't see myself parting with it. Yeah, I cannot imagine that. So Gerry, while being a custom maker and continuing making custom knives, also starting making what we call these days mid-techs, and even high-tech, because truly he's giving a lot of his work. Suffice it to say that when you check the Rowdy, the collaboration that he made with Tashi Barusha, this knife, I held it, and it's the closest thing to a custom. I mean, of course, the parts are cut with the machine, and I mean, there are a lot of machine involved, of course, but there is also a lot of human involved, and this is great also. And it's his shop in the United States of America, and the prices for the work in it are, to me, are really, really fair, if you consider that it's going to be a knife that will be a McGinnis and a Tashi Barusha knife. So yeah, he does that. He does also his own line, the Pro line. And these knives are really, really, really well done. So yeah, this guy is truly a driven young man, an excellent custom knife maker. You know, it's hard sometimes when you don't see flaws in the journey of a man, because also his business is conducting his business defiantly well. That's just insane. And what a great guy. I mean, I've been at the G7, and he gave me kind of emotion, you know, because he made a speech after his sorry, what can I say? His lotteries. When they won the lottery, at the end, he made a speech. He was with his father, and he was kind of, you know, you can tell in his eyes he was happy because now he's working with his father, and you saw the respect for his father, and genuinely the appreciation to work with his father. And this family notion for me means a lot. So I don't know you, Gerry, but if you watch this video, just know that as a man, I highly respect you also, and I highly respect the businessman and the custom maker that you are. So enough said about that. Let's talk about this knife now, before I get crazy with the kids that will enter the room. So what do we have here? You see, it looks simple like that, but it's not. I mean, the shape is not simple at all, but it's what? We have here a scale in full titanium, and here you're going to have mokume. Mokume inlays, and men are the junction flush with this mokume. A word about the mokume, actually. You know, I was interested in this mokume lately because to me it's something that I absolutely adore. I like all, you know, bending methods like that. I really like and I really appreciate that. So for those of you who don't know maybe what is mokume, you know, it's the same idea as Damascus, or the same idea as Damascus, but it's not titanium. That's it. The Damascus is a mix of titanium, as you know. Damascus would be a mix blend of metals. This would have also a blend of metals, but you know, special one. Like you can, you know, bend here a metal that will bend together well. So that's going to be either copper, brass, bronze. Silver also can be in mokume, in the mokume gane. That's an ancient, traditional Japanese, actually, mix of metals. You know, it's a technique, and you can bend also here, as I said. The mokume gane used to have like some silver and some gold even. So when you get some mokume, sometimes you can hear, you know, you can have like a 2-tone mokume or 3-tone, whatever. So of course, it's going to be the pieces that you're going to have, the pieces of metal that you're going to have. Most of the time, you can expect to have copper, bronze, and brass. That's in the tactical world, that's what you're going to get. So very, very nice piece of mokume here. Absolutely adore that. And the work of inlay is crazy. And that's a bolster lock. Actually, he did probably a couple of bolster lock. This one and another one that a friend of mine has also. But this is a bolster lock, and it's not something that he usually does. So yeah, very, very, very nice pieces of mokume, very nice work of inlay. I love the pattern of the hole also, you know, like the mayo holes as we're gonna call them. And I really like this pattern. I absolutely adore the fact that it's a full titanium with this orange peel finish. And the clip also in orange peel. Why? Because I can carry that. You know, I found out lately that I cannot carry full mokutai, full whatever. You know, I love dress knives, but I also like to carry knives. So when you have a full mokutai Damascus knife, you cannot carry that. It's slippery, it will mark whatever. I don't like that. But when you have like carbon fiber or titanium and you just put some bolsters, dress bolsters, that's a perfect carry. I'm not afraid to carry that at all, especially the clip being, because the clip is kind of scratchy. This in orange peel, man, I carry that knife a lot. So that is for the scale. Now, oh, first time that I missed the action on this one. I don't know how I got to that, because the action is snappy as they can come. I tightened the pivot a little bit because it was a tad off center, but I like the action. I just adore the action on this knife. You see now it's centered. It used to be a little bit off centered, so I just tighten it a little bit, but the action is perfect. As I said, exclusively all his knives are on the washer. So it's smooth. Even if you see me pushing the blade like that, it's really, really smooth. I like the fact that he's wrote, you know, his name inside and left the blade absolutely pristine and sterile like that, because a grind like that shouldn't have any kind of mark. You don't want to see a novel written in it saying what steel it is, what the logo, the maker's mark, or whatever. I mean, the IKBS, which is not here, but why would you spoil such a beautiful knife and blade with that? So he wrote his name inside, Gerry McGinnis Simple as that. 2015 blade. That was a knife, probably a lottery knife at blade. I don't know. Look at this nice backspacer, flush in orange peel also. Absolutely fantastic. And I love the fact that, you know, he left almost as if it was a collar, but actually that's the piece of titanium around that. I'm losing it probably because I was talking about the action, yes, which is great. The grind. Now, please check that perfect hand rubbed. And the shape of this blade, this Persian with this recurve, to me now, you know, I was not crazy about Persian, but man, look at that. That Persian here and the recurve probably became my favorite blade shape ever. Now look at this line here. You have a delicate line here, very rounded that goes here. And the swedge here, there is not really a swedge, but I want to focus on that because here, you have some, you know, it's just a, I don't know if you see it very well, but it's a tiny swedge that follows the line here, and that's just perfectly executed, perfectly. It's not like squared here, it's rounded, and it's such a beautiful work, and it cuts the edge. Man, it's one of the best edge you can ever find. This would cut you in half for sure. The jimping is excellent, man, excellent. The guard is fabulous. You have a perfect grip in your hand. This knife, I mean, is a user. It's a piece of art. It's everything I love about knife. I find it on this knife, truly. And it's surprising because these days I like, you know, more simple knives and everything. So this one is kind of bold shapes and everything, but I still find it to be one of a great knife for an everyday use. Now check that, very nice. It's rock solid. It doesn't budge at all, and the bolster lock here works. Sorry, not the bolster lock works as an over travel for the lock here, which is absolutely great. Absolutely no stiffness whatsoever. As I said, very nice smoothness. The smoothness that I like these days. I don't like the blade falling by its own. I just like to, you know, accompany the blade like that and see it just like suck inside by the detent. Check that. Boom. Probably not a weaker detent, sorry, but it doesn't suck like his usual knives or like a knife that you can see with Lee. So the detent on this one I appreciate it because it's a tiny bit less of the strong detent that you can expect from McGinnis knives. What can I say? A word about the clip. Probably it's not the best design clip in the world. I mean, his clips usually are kind of weird clip, whatever. Even the design is not the best in the world, but they're functional. This one is functional, and I like it because, again, the finish in titanium and in orange peel is absolutely perfect. So to me, it makes it a lot. So yeah, here is a maker that is already at the top of his craft, and I'm sure that he will still continue to impress us in time, whether it's for his custom or for his what they call now a high tech. Yes, I'll talk about that because this is something that we something that we needed to have. We have, you know, the production, we had the mid tech, and then after that the custom. This notion of high tech to me is really nice because it brings more. And actually, Matt Kuchera did that with his some of his knives. He did something resembling to the high tech. I mean, we don't invent things truly, but we develop them and we make them better. And I think that Gerry McGinnis will make the industry evolve in that way, that the high custom, the high-end, high-tech knives will be more and more in the market because there are a lot of people willing to pay a little bit more to get a knife like that. 600 is a lot of money, of course, but they will get knives that will resemble to customs. And his custom, they will be better and better, and I can only hope that I will get the chance to own other in time. So I think that we made the point about this knife. I really wanted to do that. I'll catch you very soon, my friends, for another video. This one was a pleasure to make. Bye-bye.